So right now we're looking at the game selection screen for Metroid Prime Trilogy, which is now available on the Wii U for $10 as long as you get it before February 5th, I think, whatever the upcoming Thursday is. After that, it'll be $20. Where either way,
Still.
it's a sweet ass deal.
Yeah.
And we're gonna show you the intro of the original Metroid Prime all the way from 2002.
Oh, baby.
I'm Neil Ronahan, site director at Nintendo World Report, and with me is associate editor Zach Miller.
Yo, yo, yo!
So this is the first time that I've played Metroid Prime. I'm the person who was playing this game about a half an hour ago. This opening's so good.
Wait, you've never played this before? Hold
No,
on.
no, I haven't played it in a very long time.
Oh, okay.
Since a month after Metroid Prime Trilogy came out on Wii.
Oh, okay. Long time ago.
Yeah. And before then, I hadn't played it since right before Metroid Prime 2 came out.
Okay. Okay.
But I think that this opening is so good, and especially when you kind of, I guess, historicize it a little bit, and you're kind of like, this was the first we saw of Metroid in 8 years.
Yes.
Well,
there was that Space World
yeah.
video of third-person Metroid Prime that looked a little janky.
Yeah. But this just looks so good, and still
Even
to this
still.
day. I mean, it shows its age a little bit, because it's not an HD game and stuff like that. But it's the art design that really helps it out.
Yeah.
Kind of transcends it. Oh, that music.
Yeah, the music, just the score is incredible. Actually, in all three games, the score is great.
Yeah, because it does a great job, invoking the musical themes from Metroid games, but then making it its own unique style. At least I know with me, I can hear a song and be like, oh, this is from a Metroid game, and I can immediately tell you, oh yeah, it's from Prime or something else.
Yeah.
And there she is with all her big shouldered glory.
Yep.
So Zach, how many times have you played Metroid Prime at this point?
Oh, geez, I couldn't even tell you. I was writing my review mini of this trilogy on Wii U, and I realized that I've purchased Metroid Prime 3 times. I've purchased Metroid Prime 2 4 times, and I've purchased Metroid Corruption 3 times. When we're counting the trilogy and this new version.
Actually, I mean, I did the smooth thing that when I heard the trilogy was announced, I went and sold my copy of Metroid Prime 3 and then used that money to buy the trilogy.
Yep. Do you have the Steelbook?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because this was the kind of thing when I saw it, and I wouldn't consider myself a huge mega Metroid fan. I adore Super Metroid, but the Prime games I've always enjoyed but haven't adored. I mean, they're supremely well made. I've just never. I'm not like you were Johnny Metz about it.
Yeah.
But even still, it was just all 3 of them with Wii controls on one disc. Yeah, man.
Yeah. This was. People forget, but this was basically new Play Control Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that's actually how it was released in Japan.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was just I think the first 2 were just released as separate games, like how we got Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although the one thing that I don't enjoy as much, and I have a feeling that when I kind of aim to play through, at least the first one, because it's such a fun game.
Yeah.
I don't think, I like the idea of scanning, but, I think that's the one aspect of this game that doesn't hold up that well.
Oh, geez, I use it all the time.
I just, because, I mean... It does a better job than, say, the Batman Arkham Asylum game, or the Batman Arkham games, where you're in that damn detective mode.
All the time.
And it just, makes the game look like crap, and, I mean, there's a lot of benefit for being in that mode. And this does it well by, it's not something that totally obscures the world.
Yeah.
But it's still, I had a lot of memories when I was playing this, and I played a little past what we're seeing. This is basically just the entire intro sequence. And yeah, I don't mind not having to feel pressured to scan, because I mean the main reason to do it is for 100%.
True, but there's also a lot of story there, and
yeah, and that's the Chozo lore and stuff. I really like that.
I just like how, I mean, you got to think about it. They put so much effort into writing the entries.
Yeah.
There's so much text in this game, and it really, I think it I don't know, helps color the whole world, the whole sci-fi setting. It helps it out.
Especially those moments like later in the game, and they do this a lot through all three, where like you'll be scanning stuff and it'll be like, we created a monster, what are we gonna do? And then like what this section is gonna end with, it's gonna be you fighting that damn monster.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's like I mean
the Omega Pirate is probably what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that is one of the. I mean, I feel like it was done a few other times,
probably
in the series, but the Omega Pirate is the one that like. You're like, well, this is going to be fun. And even just the subtlety of, like, just the Metroid Prime. Like, the final boss of this game. I'm sorry that's a spoiler, but it's in the title of the game. But, like, even that, like, is just kind of slowly hinted at throughout the game. And you learn more about what this creation is.
Yeah.
And it's even, I mean, it's set up from the word go. Because you're on this, the Frigate Orphean. And you're reading scans and stuff about how, like, oh, they started experimenting, and that's even the boss that you fight in this area, the Parasite Queen, which shows up in the Frigate Orphean Smash Brothers stage.
Right. Now, one thing I like, you started playing Prime, but I started playing Echoes because I really only probably beat that game 2 or 3 times. It's the hardest. It's by far the hardest game.
I only beat it like 2 or 3 times, like almost nonchalantly. Like that's a low amount. Like I've never beaten Metroid Prime 2.
It's tough as hell.
I've beaten 1 and 3.
Yeah,
but I've never beaten 2.
The thing
I want to go back to 2 real bad.
They improved the scanning in 2 because instead of these little tiny icons that you can actually pretty easily miss on your scan visor. Things that are scannable are, like, turn into a different color. Like, the whole object will be blue or red.
Yeah, oh yeah, like how they kind of differentiate from, like, random flavor text that you can scan and actual things that count toward the percentages.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that's, I mean, you can see it very subtly here, where it's, like, a slightly darker color.
Right.
And there's the map. The map, I'm not a huge fan of, and it is kind of funny.
I'm actually not a huge fan of the map either.
Well, it's kind of funny because those guys are still applying that map to the world with how they used it in that Batman Arkham.
Yeah, true, but in that game, it's like I hate the map in that game because it's a 2D game.
Yeah, it's a 2D game with a 3D map, which just doesn't really seem to make sense. And I'm in the minority, I think, in that I enjoyed that game, and that is a game that comes from guys who worked on Metroid Prime. It's from Armature, which is where a lot of the key guys who worked on Metroid Prime, they left Retro. I think it was after I don't know if they worked on Trilogy, but it was after 3, definitely. They left to form another company, and they haven't really done too much since then.
So what's funny, Neil, is that aside from the map, you know how I knew that Batman game was made by Metroid Prime people?
Do enlighten me.
Huh?
Do enlighten me.
It ends with a key hunt.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
A bullshit key hunt.
Yeah, that's what I think kind of ruins these games to an extent. I mean, because they're so masterful, and then it's just like, I don't know, go everywhere again.
Yeah. Now, it gets easier the more often you play these games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, you just start finding them while you're there.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I might start keeping an eye at walkthroughs when I go through these games again. And just be like, okay, I could just get a key right now. Because that was... I've actually never, like, sat down and played through a Prime game all in, like, one... I mean, not like I'm sitting down and playing all of it in one sitting, but, like, regularly playing it from start to finish. Like, with the first one, I got to the key hunt, and... This was also the same era in which I didn't finish Wind Waker because I didn't like the Triforce hunt. I think it was just me being, like, an impatient gamer. I mean, I was, like, 14 or something. But when I got to the key hunt in Metroid Prime 1, I just put the game down, and I ended up getting really excited for Echoes. I guess it was 2 years later. So I played through the entirety of Metroid Prime 1 and did the key hunt all in one go because I was so excited for Echoes. And then by the time Echoes came out, I was so burnt out on Metroid Prime that I barely played Echoes.
Yeah. I think Echoes key hunt is worse.
Yeah.
It's just because the world is so much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, because they have the whole light and dark world in Echoes as well.
Yeah, and remember in Metroid Prime 1, you go into the kind of towards the end of the game, not towards the end of the game. There's that temple where you go in the main area of the game, and it has all those statues, and they all tell you exactly where the keys are. Right?
Okay, yes, I do remember that part of that.
Well,
game.
in Metroid Prime 2, they're not statues; they're just dead moth people lying around the world, and you actually have to find the moth people who tell you where the keys are. And I thought that was really overkill.
It just adds an extra step to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, all right. So I guess while we're here, tell me about Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and why that might be worth doing a similar video as this.
Boy, I don't even know if it would be. Metroid Prime. I don't know. Echoes gets a little. It's the kind of game that I appreciate the more I play it, but I feel about the same in terms of level of fun that I did back then. It's not the most fun Metroid Prime game by a long shot. It's really hard. It's really slow paced, and I think what sets it apart from Prime 1 and Corruption is it has really, really good puzzles. Fantastic puzzles. And I really like the world building. But Dark Aether sucks, man. I mean, every time you go in there, you take damage when you're just in the atmosphere.
Yep, that's what really turned me off on that game.
And early in the game, when you have like 1 or 2 health tanks, that sucks. You spend all your time in the light bubbles picking your health back up.
Yeah, I mean, Metroid Prime 2 always kind of seemed to me as the kind of game that was like, you better have played the first one or else you're screwed.
Yes,
because
that's exactly right.
I mean, and that's a dangerous thing to do with a sequel, I feel. And I mean, I think there's a lot of modern examples of this and past examples where I mean, do you want to have the sequel ratchet up the difficulty, or do you just want to kind of iterate on what you're doing? It's a hard thing to go about.
Sure. Well, I think Corruption did a good job. I think Corruption is more like Prime 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with Corruption, I mean, well, I didn't mind it as much. A lot of people didn't like the linearity of it. Or at least I guess
was fine.
The separation of everything, because
into
for people who
planets.
don't know, yeah, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption you go to a series of different planets, which I still really enjoyed because it was kind of like the different sections of the world.
Yeah,
here.
and I think
except for, I mean, granted, everything's a little more interconnected in Prime 1 and Prime 2.
Sure.
But still, like, I don't think you're losing on that much because the planets are separated.
And they're so different. That's what I really like about it.
And, like, I mean, there's that, I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the futuristic sky world.
Elysia.
Yeah, that place is so great.
That place is one of my favorite Metroid environments ever.
And I think that Metroid Prime 3, I mean, maybe the story stuff is kind of goofy, but
I just don't like how prescribed the boss fights are.
Yeah,
There's that scene in the introductory sequence where you're riding up the elevator with all these other dudes, and you're like, I'm gonna fight you and you and you. But the final world in Corruption is really cool. That like Phazon planet.
Yep. But once again, key hunt.
No, that's not true. You know what the key hunt in that game is? It's the abandoned space station. Remember? You have to find like energy tanks.
The batteries or whatever.
Batteries, exactly, to open up further areas of the space station. I don't remember what's at the end of that.
I forgot that was that really totally optional?
I think it is optional.
Wow. Because I thought I had to do that to finish the game, so I did.
Yeah, I remember doing that just because I'm a completionist.
Yeah.
And now that I'm bringing that up, I'm remembering that the thing I hated about Corruption is that the door opening times were so frickin' long.
I mean, it's weird because it was like an early Wii game that was pushing the system pretty heavily.
I wonder if that's improved in this trilogy, because I read
haven't
somewhere
touched
that the load times are better, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't touched it on Metroid Prime Trilogy. I mean, it's a whole time thing, but man, I would really love to play all 3 of these games again.
I remember when the trilogy came out for the Wii, I did play all 3 games in sequence. I was pretty done with Metroid Prime after that for a while.
Yeah, I imagine you would be. That's what, like, at least 50 hours of Metroid? I mean...
Well, if each one's about 20 hours long and Echoes is longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably pushing 20, probably pushing 70 hours of Metroid.
And, like, look at the reveal of this boss. It just, like...
It's really good.
I mean, that's what this... It's just, like, a very measured game as far as, like, it doesn't... I mean, it does guide you in a lot of respects, but it kind of doesn't at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. And look at the animation on her. I just love it. The claws snapping at the end of her tail.
Yep.
Like, this is Retro's first game.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, granted,
so
good.
It's
not. Yeah. Like, there were guys on that team who had been working. I think, what is it? A lot of them came from, like, Iguana Entertainment.
Yeah,
and stuff
a lot
like
of them had Turok experience.
Yeah. But
and
still,
Turok is a really good. I mean, it gets some retroactive hate, but Turok 1 and 2 are both really good at 64 games.
They were games that took advantage of the limitations of the N64 and tried to make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, hearing some of the stories, like for instance, Jules from Renegade Kid was working at that time. He was like, because what was it? It was Acclaim Studios Austin, I think. That might have been the name of it, or it might have been Iguana then. But he was working there, and he was kind of like on the opposite team from the Turok team, so he saw a lot of that get developed, and I think he worked on a few of them. But...
Oh no, she's on fire for some reason.
Yep, and now it's just gone. Oh no, I'm still there. I'm gonna break stuff.
We were out the airlock.
I did forget how easy of a boss that is. Although, embarrassing thing, after this, I died on the Hive Totem.
Oh, dude. Oh, no, the Hive Totem sucks.
The Hive Totem, I hate that boss. I forgot how much I hated that boss, because it's just annoying.
Yeah. The Hive Totem and, no, that actually... That might be the hardest boss in the game, considering where you're at when you fight that boss.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one energy tank and about 25 missiles, and oh, shit.
No, you don't even have any missiles.
Oh, you don't have missiles?
Because you get missiles at the end of it.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, here's another escape sequence. And I like how there's like all those enemies there, and then they just blow up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's good scripted action sequence here.
Yeah.
Long before Call of Duty 4.
Yep. Man, yeah, just the music in these games, everything, man. They're fantastic.
They really are. And I mean, God, $10 for all 3. How can you, even if you don't love one of the games, even if you don't love 2 of the games, buy this collection.
I mean, yeah, because there are people out there who hate 2 or 3 or both 2 and 3. Like, $10 for just Prime is already a steal. Even $20 for just Prime.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, it was... I was musing on Twitter. It's not just our game of the decade.
It was our game of the past 15 years,
Game of the past 15 years. Both times as voted on by readers.
Yeah, and the staff voted
And the
as
staff,
well.
sure, but...
well, I think the game of the decade... I know, the game of the decade, because the guys on RFN, they decided what, like, the last 5 were, and then it was vote.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah. And then we had the bracket thing for our game of Planet GameCube's existence.
Yeah. And it beat Mario
Galaxy.
Beat Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So, would you want to see another Metroid Prime game?
You know, at this point, I think I'm ready for it. I'd like to see it on an HD system. I don't want them to make another Donkey Kong game.
Because let's think about it this way: is that I think if Retro is working on it, I don't think it'll be out until 2016.
Not at all.
That means, in theory, if a Metroid Prime 4 exists, it will have been 9 years between the third one and the fourth one.
Oh, that's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, your missile shooting reminded me that the only thing about this control scheme I really don't like is pressing down
Yeah.
to fire missiles. It's just so awkward. So instead of killing the parasites, you're just letting them smash themselves on you?
No, I was trying to figure out, because that door kept on shutting on me.
Oh, you gotta be near it. Man, and then when you explore this area again underwater, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
Whoa, Nelly.
I forgot about that part.
Oh, shit!
You can't actually get crushed by that thing, I don't think. As evidenced by the fact
I think
that
it just pushes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think I would like to see another Metroid Prime game.
I would too.
I'd like to see what they would do in the modern day. Because I think there's been, like, I mean, this game was... It's almost like seeing a new Doom game or something, where you're like, alright, it's these dudes who totally mastered this and revolutionized the way these games, like, this type of game. Let's see what they do next.
Yeah.
Although, I don't
here's
know...
Meta Ridley. Oh, shit.
I don't know how many people actually... Like, because Metroid Prime's still kind of one of a kind.
Oh, it is.
Like, I think Halo 4, I believe it had some people who worked on the Metroid Prime series.
Really?
And that kind of had more artistic similarities.
I never liked grappling in this game. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just, the timing never felt right to me.
But
I would like to see a more, you know, I don't know. I would like to see what they could do now, because the technology's better, and there have been so many other first-person shooters that have pushed the form forward.
oh no, Samus, no!
Oh no!
And then
all
it's
her
just like,
shit
there
gets
go my
taken
shoulder pads.
I know. I like that. No, her whole suit explodes.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think the chances of them making another Metroid Prime are while we're wrapping up here?
I think they might be really likely.
That'd be cool.
Because, I mean, it is to that degree, is that you look at what Nintendo's doing, and it seems like they're doing a little bit of giving the fans what they want.
Yeah.
And unless they are not confident in, you know, what the people currently at Metroid Prime, or not currently at Retro Studios being able to make a Metroid Prime game, because, in all honesty, a lot of the notable people did leave.
Yeah.
Unless they're not confident in that, I think you got it. Or at least have them make a Metroid game in a similar vein, even if it's not a part of the Metroid Prime series.
Sure.
I mean, you could still do a first-person adventure Metroid and not have it be, you know, Prime 4.
Yeah.
Because I do think that the Prime Trilogy is kind of a self-contained thing.
It is,
to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's also there's always that chance that maybe we're running out of time now. There's always that chance that maybe it stays in Japan, and maybe Tecmo gets another crack at it with maybe Sakamoto not coming up with the story.
I'd be okay with that.
But yeah, that's Metroid Prime 1. If you want to see us do anything with Metroid Prime 2 or 3, let us know in the comments below, because maybe we will. And if not, enjoy, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.